Again, 2021 in the books. Here we are today to wrap up the NFC South. Hello and welcome to our second edition of our off-season review of the 2021 season in the NFL. Thank you for joining us here on FTB Sports through the table. I am joined today by my co-host Donnie Shoemaker. Donnie, how are you
Got my
today?
name? What do you call it? I was playing. How you guys doing? I like how you wrap up the NFC South. Like they haven't been wrapped up since Tom Brady retired.
All right. No, how has your week been, man?
Really?
Your week been good? You've been well, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. We've been busy. Missing football. Kind of ready for the UFSL. I know. I mean the USFL. I know.
Right.
It's probably not going to be on the same caliber, but
of course,
it's just around the corner. We got another month to go, so it'll be cool to see. Like they got a Texas team, like we talked about last week. Not a fan of the name, but
yeah, neither am I, man.
All in all,
what can you do?
1 week closer to spring break. I got one more week of school and then spring break. So nice.
That's
take
weird.
a little break and go to work.
Right.
So
maybe we'll pump up the content. Maybe we'll pump up the content then.
Yeah, we might talk about a better division. It'll be nice.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just playing. I mean, you got to give the devil its due, man. Like, obviously, they're a team, and that's just see, look at that. Even your dad's into it. I like to see that.
USFL.
But my week was good, man. Everything rolled out pretty smoothly. It's been rolling pretty well over here. Spring is upon us out here, so that's good to see. I know you're waiting for that over at your neck of the woods.
I think we have another snowstorm or two yet to go before.
Yeah, I think Punxsutawney saw shadow this year, so you got a couple more weeks of winter.
Hey, cool.
But how about you? You been doing all right?
Oh, I have been, my friend. Thank you very much.
So I saw you. I'm sorry. Before we really get into it, I saw you post something on Facebook about is there a name change? The Mafia's stadium, or are they building something new?
No. There's deals in the works to the naming rights of the Bills Stadium.
Like they're selling them, or people arguing about who has rights?
No. They're somebody's going to buy it.
Oh, the stadium or
the stadium name, yeah. But I don't know. I'm always going to call it the Ralph. I didn't even call it.
Well, you're an old school Bills fan.
New era field. I didn't really do that.
So
I'll always call it the Ralph. Every now and then I even go back further and I call it Rich Stadium.
Oh. Showing your age there, Brett. I only thought you were 25 or so, but you're really putting it on there.
There we go.
I have been watching some of the original USFL games on YouTube, man.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw the news, but apparently there's something in the news. They may be suing them because they may not have the rights for the new USFL to use USFL as their name.
Nuh-uh.
They may have let that slip through the cracks somehow.
How do you let that slip through the cracks?
Naming rights to your league?
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Isn't that number one on the check mark thing?
I mean, especially in this day and age, man, people don't let that slide. If you have any kind of money behind any kind of project and you don't own that name, Like, yeah, somebody's either going to sue or you're going to have to pay out. And if you didn't ask before you put it up there,
Yeah.
you're definitely paying out
Whoever
twice as
missed
much.
that, I assume they don't have a job no more.
I just assumed that they were just like maybe not lineage, but definitely tied to the people that ran that in the past. I know it's been quite some time, but I mean, it's not like those people have passed. It's only been like 20 years.
Right.
Actually, longer than that, right? It's 2022. But man, it's been like 40 years.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to at least the first topic we wanted to discuss. Today we were going to do the NFC South, man.
But what?
Um,
I know that's how I feel about this division too. So don't feel
no,
bad.
no, not to be disrespectful or anything, but you know, this division
This is a
has let us
serious need of
down, man.
work, man. This division is falling apart, and these guys were like contenders 5, 6, 8 years ago. I
Like
know,
all these teams have been contenders within the past little bit, you
at
know?
least decade, at least I'll even give them 5 years, man. Like Tampa. I mean, Tampa really has been in the spotlight because of Tom Brady. Yeah, they won the Super Bowl, but like the other guys really. It's just a falling out, or the people have been retiring. I had a bunch of old school veterans in these spots, and then it slipped away because that's what happens. You're big, you're awesome, you keep those guys, they retire, then you go through rebuilding years, and that's what we got here in this division. Unfortunately, all at once for them.
Right. I saw was it the MGM Grand book put out their odds, and their way too early favorite was Tampa to win this division again next year. Would there be anything that would make you to throw your money somewhere else other than Tampa?
It's Tampa, Saints, Panthers, and
Falcons.
the Falcons. Matt Ryan is going to be paid $48 million next year.
Dude, like Matt Ryan's making bank. We'll get to Matt
That dude is
Ryan.
like, I signed the best contract ever. You guys are stupid.
But the
No,
NFC South
honestly,
as a whole.
I mean, because it's a plug and play as far as Tampa is concerned. I mean, I know we're going to get more in depth in that, but it's just
Because of Bruce
really they're only
Arians.
missing the quarterback. I mean, the team's ready to play. They have great players. I mean, they're the wide receiver ones just now. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't get that 1,000 yards this season, but his first 7 of 8 seasons, he had over 1,000 yards. Mike Evans, we'll give you some love, dude. But
he
it really
led
is.
the division. He led the division in receiving this year.
It's just
in touchdowns also with 16.
And I really think that if it wasn't for the off-field life of Tom Brady, he would probably still be there this year. But I mean, really, what does the dude have to prove anymore? He really doesn't. It's just for himself and not wanting to retire because he still had the capability of playing for a couple more years, if not, at least till he was 50. I mean, the dude has any crazy brain capacity for the game, man. Like he can look at a play before it even happens and knows where he needs to throw the ball, and that's something rare, and that comes with time.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
but to
something
answer
they're
your
not going to
question,
have next year.
Longley is. I would suggest that Tampa will win. All they need is a half decent quarterback, at least the playoffs. I don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs, but they're definitely winning that division spot.
But yeah, that all determines on ambition, and we will talk about that more as the next season progresses, what we expect. But just to say it right now, your first goal is to win the division.
If somebody was like,
the Bucks,
who are you betting on that division? The Bucks.
It's going to be the Bucks. Tom Brady or no Tom Brady.
Want money would be Bucks. I mean, shoot.
No
they pretty
Gronk,
much almost made
no
playoffs
Tom Brady,
with Winston like several years. And it's unfortunate that Winston actually was like playing better as a Saint, and then he got hurt. So we'll see how that plays out too, because that's in the the wings of as far as where the Saints are concerned. But I think they have a lot more to carve out than just the quarterback, unfortunately, at this current moment.
Right. Well, we'll start out with Excuse me. With the NFC South champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 13-4. Of course, the last game they played, they lost.
Yeah, but they came
But you
back
know
from
that
a
F Tom
deficit of
Brady,
three.
F
I mean,
Tom Brady, dude.
3-27. They came back and
Tom Brady's
tied,
garbage.
and then they lost. So it's not like they just like floundered that
No,
last game. I mean, Tom
right,
Brady did Tom Brady. He just didn't get the ball at the end.
right.
Well,
But I
actually,
mean,
he threw that interception at the very end.
yeah, they had a
Actually,
very dominating over the schedule. They dominated over their schedule. I mean, 13-4. You can't really scoff at that. I don't think they did it unimpressively, like we said.
no, they have great players.
Brady was the leading passer
I
in
mean, he
that
won.
division.
You know, he should
I
have won
mean,
MVP over Rogers if we're just giving it to quarterbacks, honestly.
yeah,
But
but
you know,
he almost threw for 6,000 yards. Brady,
yeah,
um, Evans was of course the leading receiver.
you got Evans, Godwin,
1271 was
Fournette picked it
16.
up.
Right, Godwin was the third leading receiver in
Yeah,
yardage from that division, and Fournette at 867 with 10 touchdowns was the second leading running back in that division.
which is
So
crazy, right? Because
they
you
were
almost
tops
saw a
of player
fall off of Fournette
statistics. Yeah,
a couple
offensively.
years ago.
Yeah. So it's like you take away Brady, they, I mean,
They
I
have big
can't say they
names
can
in the
just,
rumor section coming to that team. You know, I mean, so
right. Who can
I don't think they're
replace
going to fill that
Brady?
spot. I mean, I mean, think the worst one was who. It was a dude, Gabriel. Is that his last name? He was a quarterback a couple years ago, and then he like played a couple games. He was their number two quarterback as far as last year. Oh, man, you
Tampa
know,
Bay?
no, for Tampa Bay. I just looked at his name and I thought that was funny that they mentioned him. It is no, was it Blaine Gabbert? Was that who I was thinking?
Oh, Gabbert.
Yeah, I think that's
Maybe, dude. That's the name going back. He used to be the starting quarterback for Jacksonville, I
I think
believe.
that was who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh,
Should have
here's
these notes
Naboon
written out, but you know, that's just
coming up, saying hi. Always appreciate the support,
how y'all
Brian.
doing? How you
Thank
doing?
you. Yeah, it's a
I
very
think
good quality show on London's Chelsea. Um, but that's a whole nother issue right now we won't get into
yeah,
here.
Blaine Gabbert. And
Gabbert.
that's who the coaching staff is saying they were comfortable with him moving forward. But I mean, you got big names potentially hunting from that spot. I've heard Deshaun Watson, I've heard Aaron Rodgers, you know.
Who they'll get,
Um,
yeah.
and I've even heard Garoppolo, but that just depends on where the 49ers go. So I think if the 49ers let him go, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to the
Right.
49ers,
And
personally.
because nothing's really going to change with Tampa Bay because really Bruce Arians has only been there since 2019 anyway. He's a
Yeah,
well-respected coach already in the game
definitely.
from his time before Tampa Bay. So, hey, this was just a new opportunity for him. So he's not going anywhere. Their general manager, Jason Licht, he's been there since 2014. I don't think the Glazers are going to do anything to replace the general manager
I know.
who
I know you hate the Glazers,
they have just done
but
what they
like
did. So he's not
I
going
really don't
anywhere.
think they have a problem. I think they just need to find a
Yeah,
quarterback, and you just
right.
really need to put.
But who like they're it's not exactly plug and play, but the drop off from the quarterback from Tom Brady, they could still win the division with a huge drop off. So it's not
No,
like they got to go out and they got to find the next great quarterback out there. They just have to find somebody that fights for a little while because they can win this division. Um, no, easily. Oh yeah, she's lazy Sunday, man. Just relaxing, recharging the batteries, and yeah. Well, I mean that's what you have to hope. It really is.
I don't think Tampa Bay is really going to have a problem filling that spot.
I don't either,
You
and
know,
they'll be fine. So yeah, I expect them.
I think the real question is Tom Brady really retired, or did he just say that? Is he going to do like a Brett
Did he
Favre
just
thing?
did he just retire from the Buccaneers?
Well, maybe he just took a step back. It's like when people like get fired, right, and they say that they quit, that they
Oh,
resigned
and
instead they
next
got fired. I
year
don't think they
they have a
fired
new
Tom
job.
Brady, but it's just like a nice way that both parties look like civil and okay. You know, I mean,
Okay.
realistically, he was a year-to-year contract. It's not like they would sign him for a multiple-year contract. So maybe he just was kind of like, okay, I'm not feeling it anymore here, and so he retired. Maybe he'll come back. I mean, I don't know. Truthfully, I don't think he's going to be like a Brett Favre. I think he really is retired. But like you said, I don't think Tampa Bay is really struggling. They just need to find
Yeah.
a halfway decent quarterback, somebody that's going to throw, over 500. So, like, I mean, really, realistically, it's you probably don't need more than 8 wins to beat that division this upcoming season.
I don't know. Yeah, the team that finished in second had 9.
This year,
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints finished 9-8.
yeah,
Ended the
but
season with
that
2
is that
wins.
that team. If you want to talk about, okay, cool, we are going to talk about them right
Yeah,
now.
yes, we are.
They
The
got
New
a new coaching
Orleans
staff
Saints.
or head coach. They
Right.
got running back problems potentially off field that could result in, I
Big
mean,
trouble.
serious
Serious
repercussions for
things.
that team
Yeah.
because the whole team is basically based off their running game through that player right now. And that's unfortunate because I really liked Kamara, and it's unfortunate that he has off-field trouble right now, and that's just that. I mean, you should make better choices. Consequences. I mean, all your choices have consequences, and we're seeing it play out. Which, I mean, I've never been in that position where I had that much money, so I don't know
Yeah.
how you think. But at the same time, if you're making that much money to run the ball, you should kind of buckle down a little bit, I guess, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And he
And
is the division's leading rusher.
and they don't have a quarterback. I mean, Taysom Hill has been given the chance, the opportunity to produce as their top quarterback, their top pick.
He's not.
And he's not. He's a special teams player. He is a great, I mean, I'm talking about outstanding special teams quarterback. The dude was successfully playing, doing all those plays, all those different passes, the running, the short runs. And I mean, I'm pretty sure he had, before he was like full time quarterback, 95% success rate guaranteed. Like the dude, every time the dude touched the ball, it was gold.
Let me ask you something. Okay, Winston and Simeon were number 4 and number 5 in passing yards for quarterbacks in the division.
He was 4-5.
They were 4 and 5. Winston was the
Oh, well,
fourth
that's before Winston got hurt, right?
yeah, and
Because he really was. He
Simeon.
was like 300 plus yards a game.
No,
Winston
no. Winston threw for 1170, and Simeon threw for 1154.
this season,
Yeah.
but Winston only had like 3 games before he got hurt, and Simeon had the rest of the season.
Right. So you do. I know we're not doing our preview. This is just a review of 2021. So why look in? But if you pick, if these are your 2 quarterbacks, does Winston have the job over Simeon?
Definitely,
Okay.
he had it 100%. That
Okay.
was
And
his,
I think you're right.
I mean,
I'm
even
not
though
a fan
Drew
of
Brees
Winston.
Simeon came in and played his role, but I don't think he doesn't have the throwing capability to be the quarterback full time. He doesn't. And that's unfortunate. I mean, it's not unfortunate or not unfortunate. He's good in his role, but beyond that, he struggles. And not even just the coaching staff, the owners loved that cat.
Right.
What's the owner's names?
Yeah. For who?
For the Saints?
Uh,
I forgot their names. I mean, if I even knew
dude,
them. Um,
they're the Holtz.
okay, so like Mrs. Holtz, right?
Yeah.
He loved
Oh,
she loved them.
this is a stop the presses, Miss Molina. Hello, how are you? Missed you. Hope you're well. Hope everything's good. Thanks for stopping in, showing your support and saying hi. Really
It's
appreciate
just
it.
yeah, man. And I think Winston I mean he was drafted number 1 when he was
And,
when he was in the NFL.
like I
And
have
he
my
really
own.
didn't perform in Tampa. And I honestly thought Tampa was a better team than, as far as overall capacity is concerned, than the Saints. I mean, not that the Saints were bad, but they were kind of falling apart. Yeah, they had a great running back, but Michael Thomas kind of like fell off the scene, right? And then, so I mean, they didn't really have like anybody to throw to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes in and he performs better. And the only reason he lost his job is because of injuries. So I mean, am I going to give Winston another chance? Probably, because who are you going to draft this year? I mean, maybe you can draft somebody that you can cultivate for the next year.
Right.
But as far as this upcoming year going forward, you're going to play Simeon in his strong suit. You're gonna play Winston again if he's ready to come back. Hopefully, your running back situation is going to be okay. And then, if anything, you're drafting wide receivers this year. If I'm the Saints,
But are you definitely hoping that the quarterback situation is other than Winston and Simeon?
it probably won't be this year unless they trade something high. Like if
Right.
Kamar somehow is in legal obligations moving into the season, maybe, and it would be a high risk situation. You trade him high for a replacement running back and a veteran quarterback that's phasing out. You could probably get for him because you definitely need at least a running back of 75% of his caliber to replace that
Right.
cap plus somebody else, you know.
Yeah. And this
Um,
is we don't expect a coaching change here, like we
no,
said, because this is Dennis Allen being promoted from the defensive coordinator. He's been the defensive coordinator since 2015. So he's going to be given a good fair shake. Mickey Loomis, the general manager, he's been there since 2013. The ownership is he's an executive vice president too, not
I don't
just
think
the
those
general
guys are going
manager.
anywhere.
So
No, I don't.
they're going to keep on doing New Orleans things and suspect that they'll do everything they can to get um
If you could give me 2 minutes, Britt, I do apologize, man.
yeah,
I really do. I'm
you're
sorry.
good, no worries. um but yeah, we wouldn't expect uh the good thing or the thing to look forward is New Orleans with their new head coach. um how things will be different than they were with Sean Payton, because they will be, because Sean Payton was really really special coach. So, but Dennis Allen's going to be given a shot. I think he's earned the right to been given the shot. Like he's been there for a while. Um, yeah, like I said, they finished the year 9-8. Made a little run at the playoffs. We're not doing. There we go.
Sorry,
Not doing any.
man.
No worries. We're not doing
No.
anything predicting for next year, but the Saints, you would expect them probably to finish second.
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
interested to
I don't think
see
they're
to
going to make
watch
the
them during
playoffs
the.
this year.
Yeah, no, but
They
very
almost
interested
did.
to watch
Almost.
their. Yeah, but I'm
Almost.
interested to watch their off season, see what they attack in the
Yeah.
draft. See what Dennis Allen is really thinking, how he wants to structure his team. Because I know he's been with Sean Payton for a while, but he's not Sean Payton.
Yeah.
So, like,
That
what's he
is going
going
to
to go
play into
after?
their success rate, too. Because I mean, it really
Yeah,
is. I mean, the Saints have been going through a rebuilding process since Drew Brees left, you know? I mean,
right.
the
And
Cat's
you knew Sean
legend.
Payton wouldn't oversee the entirety of the rebuild.
No, I mean, he built his saga when, I mean, it happens like that all the time, you know? And I hate using Bill Belichick as an example, but you see that, you know? he lucked out with Mac Jones. I mean, maybe
Man,
not.
Bill
Maybe the dude's
Belichick.
just super good and he knows how to pick them. But like, it's hard building that kind of like. It's more than just I'm your coach, you're my quarterback. There's like a fundamental like friend family, establishment that's built and long to get something that's going to be a long, something that's going to last a long time. The longevity of the situation isn't going to be there if those are always colliding, because you see that all the time. Coaches and quarterbacks beefing, and then what happens? They're split up, and that's not going to happen because it's the way it goes. But I've always liked the Saints.
But they definitely, to wrap them up, they definitely like piqued the interest and got the interest. Like, even as a non-fan, like, dang, can the Saints like make a run and make the playoffs? Like, this would be
last year,
incredible.
yeah. But moving forward with the new coaching staff and their players that they need to fill, I don't think they can beat Tampa. I mean, and can they get a wild card? Probably not. I think it's going to be a couple years before we see the Saints reemerge as a team that needs to be reckoned with, or at least even is established.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. All right, coming up in third in the NFC South, we got the Atlanta Falcons. They finished
I like the eye roll. I mean,
yeah, 7-10. Lost the final two games of the campaign, which were meaningless anyway.
sounds like typical Falcon status right there.
Right. This is a team we know probably nothing in the office is going to change. Arthur Smith, this was his first year as head coach. The general manager, this was his first year as general manager. So nothing's happened there. I guess the big questions, well, that'll be going in. But as far as the Falcons this season, I thought nothing of them. I thought nothing of Atlanta this season.
They're living on a cold sheet of ice. I mean, they're never going to change away from Matty Ice, and they're never going to get any better. I don't even know how he has a job after that Super Bowl loss. And I know why. It's because they paid him buku's amount. And it's like, spend so much money like on him that they can't not play him. $48 million this next season? You didn't even make it to the playoffs. You tell me you're going to get paid $48 million for being not even a mediocre quarterback, like subpar quarterback.
Like he threw for a little under 4,000 yards and 20 touchdowns.
Which is not going to win you the Super Bowl. They need so much more work that they probably can't pay people for because their cap is pretty much already filled just because of Matty Ice. I mean, yeah, they got somewhat. Is Taylor Gabriel still on that team? I thought he moved teams, right? He switched teams.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, I thought he was on a different team this year. But I mean, they have nobody to throw to. Who's running the ball? You got a bunch of people. I'm not saying you can win a Super Bowl with no name team members. You don't need names to win a Super Bowl, but what you need is a team that's actually surging well, and that's not going to happen because you built a team around a quarterback who isn't going to perform to that caliber, unfortunately.
Yeah, what they did, Matt Ryan finished second in that division in passing with under 4,000 yards. You would expect more. You would expect 4 out of Matt Ryan, the decent quarterback, right? The leading rusher was third in the division with 618 and 6 touchdowns.
I mean, it's just in that division.
You would you would like to see more production, so I don't think Patterson is the answer running back for Atlanta. The leading wide receiver, tight end Kyle Pitts, who looks to be real deal at tight end, but they need to do something at wide receiver. He had
One thing
over
I
a
can't say
thousand
about the Falcons
yards.
is they know how to pick their tight ends, man.
Oh man, they have a history of really
They
good
have a
tight
history
ends.
of great tight ends, man.
I mean,
The
they
problem with
still
being
have
really good like
Stephen
that on a
Ridley,
team who's
right?
gonna what?
Stephen Ridley's in Atlanta,
Okay, yeah,
right?
he was really good last year.
Former Alabama wide
He didn't like
receiver.
putter out this year. It's just like, you
That team
know,
was just so bad,
you
man.
don't
It's
have a
hard to
run
judge a
game, so
guy.
obviously they're gonna be able to block the pass because they know you're gonna have to pass it. Pitts is the
Yeah,
deal, but like, how long do you stay there? Yeah, this is his first year in the NFL, correct? So like, he's got 2 more years on his rookie contract, and so you got 2 years to basically figure it out because he's so good that some team is going to pay him if you don't produce a team that he wants to stay on.
yeah.
You know,
No,
and the truth is like you're gonna have to get Matt Ryan's got to go, man. He's got to go.
is there anything that you look at? Because I scroll through, I try to find things deep in the craziness of the Twitters and the YouTubes and the internet. Nothing do I ever find Matt Ryan not in a Atlanta Falcon uniform.
Dude, it's not going to happen. He's literally going to have to say, "I retire" before they will drop him. I'm
like
serious, man.
the rumors don't even happen.
I don't even know. I mean,
How do you even not get rumored?
it's insane the amount of love the Falcons have for Matty Ice. For literally a quarterback who was 27-3 going into the end of the third
Hey,
quarter in
he's
the
not
Super
Matty
Bowl,
Ice
they lost.
anymore. He's not Matty Ice anymore, dude.
I mean, I wouldn't even call
Matthew Stafford is
Stafford
Matty
that.
Ice now.
Maybe he's got ice in his veins because he lets people fall off stages. But I mean, just like,
Oh, damn.
but I wouldn't call him Matty Ice because that's like insulting to him because I think he is a better quarterback than Ryan.
Oh, that nickname is insulting now.
Well, I mean, it's just because I mean, he got paid out. I don't know, man. I think the Falcons really messed up
And they have
by
a lot. They have a
paying him
lot of
that
work to
much.
do.
And I
A
get
lot
it.
of
Going
work.
into that season when they paid him, he was statistically the best quarterback in the NFL. Not the eye test, but as far as stats and all that, he was. And then he got him to the Super Bowl, so they were like, "Okay, we made the right decision." But then he choked, and he's never been able to come back from that. And I've watched a lot of like the videos on like behind the scenes on that game, and they always say that it wasn't Ryan that made those calls; it was the coach that didn't make the right calls. But at the same time, you do have some sway. They're paying you that much money,
You can call it
you know.
out. I get what you're
You can,
saying.
you know, if you're
Yeah,
losing the
people have
game
said the
because
same
you
thing about
changed the
Russell
way you were
Wilson.
playing, all of a sudden Tom Brady's getting the ball and catching up within like 10 minutes, like run the ball. Why are you throwing the ball? You're 27-3. You should have ran the ball. The clock, you need
The clock
possessions.
was your
You
friend.
don't need to look flashy at that moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? A W would have been a
Right.
W. Nobody would have been talking about that if they would have gotten the Super Bowl. And I mean, the truth is, he probably won't ever get back to that stage again, unfortunately. You know,
Yeah,
and
I don't
we've
think so.
seen
Not
time
with
and time
Atlanta.
again, like I don't even think he can get there with another team. I really don't. Um, and we've seen
Like
the running backs
he's
that
past it.
are pretty, yeah, like Devontae Freeman. He was a running back one, like top of the
And
list for like a whole
it seemed
year, and
like not
then
that long ago. And then all of a sudden Devonta
yeah,
Freeman's like,
well, it's actually been like 7 years for us since that.
oh, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, that was like our third year of fantasy.
Okay,
This will
dang,
be year
okay.
11 coming up in our
So
fantasy league.
Devonta Freeman's the blast from the past.
Yeah,
Dang, I feel old.
but that's
I
what I'm
feel
saying. It's
old.
been that many years since all that happened, and it's still rolling like this mediocre team. Like if you,
Hey, they finally got rid of Julio Jones, so maybe, dude, maybe there is hope.
well, I know I'm like in the minority for saying this, but Julio Jones was not an elite wide receiver like everybody thought he was.
He was.
He was not.
You came in at the worst possible time.
You mean the actual Julio Jones came out and he flopped out for years and years and years, and
No, he fell
and
and
they
he
refused.
got
Like,
past it.
we really understand it's
He
injuries.
was
Injuries
an
do play
elite wide receiver. Julio
for
Jones
one
was an elite
season.
wide
That's like
receiver.
saying AJ
He
Green was an elite
wasn't.
wide receiver.
Yo, dude, wait, okay. All right,
Yeah,
NFC
just
South.
because you're good for one season does not make you an
It
elite wide
wasn't.
receiver.
It
I
was. It
give
was.
Odell Beckham Jr. more credit than I ever do those guys, and I have not been an Odell fan this whole time. I thought he got his hype from one catch, but I think he's shown that he can be a better wide receiver than those cats. You
I
can't
mean,
base your whole logic on
yo,
one
Julio
season.
Jones was a
And I
good
get it.
wide
You have to because of
receiver.
how fast it moves, and you have to pay these players to stick around when they show that skill. But at the same time, that they made too many bad decisions as far as money is concerned. They're stuck right now. They're locked into these contracts, and they can't move forward until these people leave, so they can spend more money on players that they need to spend money on. They have a
The Falcons
decent,
are definitely a
you
project.
know, they need a better offensive line. Their defense have always been like I'd say above average. They're definitely a little bit above the middle of the pack. Um, but they really haven't had an offensive line. They've been struggling with people to throw to because they let all that fall on the back of Julio Jones, and the running game really hasn't really been surging since Devontae Freeman, which we just clearly said was like 7 years ago. So it's what are you doing? What are you doing?
He went to Arizona, I believe, when he left Atlanta.
And he really wasn't even good then.
No, he
Something
pulled out
happened.
it. Yeah, he got hurt,
He
got
got
his
hurt, and that's what
payday,
happens,
and he
man.
wasn't good anyway. All
I
right.
mean, you get hurt in a certain way, and that's it.
Then
Unfortunately.
rounding out the division at the back of the pack, finishing the season on a 7-game slide. Wow, 5-12, Carolina Panthers. Matt Rude's been there since
Gosh, talking about
2020.
bad money management skills.
Obviously, he's going nowhere. He's 10-23 since he's been there, but I don't think they make a coaching change. They hired a new GM this past season,
Okay, I
so
mean,
I
excuse my
don't
language,
expect
but if
that.
you pay the players that you paid in the order you paid them, you tell me you paid for Cam Newton's backup and then the backup of Cam Newton's backup, and then you turn around and play Cam Newton again. So you're
Right.
playing
Well,
you're
these
paying
are
the
new
two players
people.
that were their
These are new
backups.
people. These are new people. 2020 and 2021. So they
What
didn't
I'm
make all
talking about,
those people who made those decisions are fired.
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So we have new people
It's
who
like, of
make
course they
new
got
bad
fired.
decisions. Yeah.
New bad decisions.
So uh
Do you let
I
go
don't
of
know,
Sam
man.
Darnold or do you stick with him?
Sam Darnold, 9 touchdowns, 2,500 yards.
But they were pushing
Um,
him away, like when they got Cam again.
but then Darnold won the job back, didn't he?
Yeah, because Cam Newton was more like a morale boost than
Yeah.
anything. That was just like
Hubbard Hubbard was their leading rusher with 612 yards and 5
I
touchdowns.
know what happened to McCaffrey, man. Is he gone? Like, do those injuries like kill him? They brought him back
It-
too fast and he got hurt right again. Like that
I
game they
know,
brought him
man.
back, and I never
I
saw him again.
I don't know what you do if you're the Panthers, like man, but their season was just a train wreck. I don't think there's too
He
much to
was the number one
say.
running back for like 2 years in a row, and then he got that injury, and you never even heard his name again.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, man. Because he was right there, man. They were right there that one season right before he got hurt, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And now they're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like
Cam
they're
Newton's
getting
not
out
the
of it
answer.
anytime soon. Sam Darnold might not be the answer.
No. I mean, I think Sam Darnold did a little bit better than he did when he was on the Jets. But, the Jets are in a concurrent state of rebuild. Sorry, Mr. Smeal.
Like he cares, man.
No, he doesn't. He's got love for him, and that won't ever change, no matter what anybody says, and I respect that. But it's just unfortunately Cam Newton.
You just watch them a little bit less and watch other teams in the league a little bit more.
Yeah, but when they ball out, it hits the news. Like they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you guys see the Jets? Like, they beasted it, man."
Right, and then my dad's like, "Don't f with my emotions."
Right? He's like, "Come on, let's
It
just move
leads
past
it
that.
leads
Let's just
down
move
nowhere.
past it."
It leads down nowhere lane, and we've been there for forever.
I just, man, I don't know what happened to Cam. I know it's the Tom Brady curse. Tom Brady
Yeah.
mind screwed him, and he never came back. Just like it's happened time and time again to new quarterbacks.
Well, he
I mean, look
got beat
how
by Peyton Manning.
was it Peyton?
Yeah,
Yeah, they won. They like crushed him, not just like won, right?
yeah, and he could hear the interviews been going on behind him for the
Yeah,
Denver
he had to drink a bunch of
Broncos.
Budweiser that night after he beat Cam Newton. I remember that.
Yeah,
I wonder how much he got paid for saying Budweiser because he said quite a
no, he said it quite a bit, so you know he
bit.
got
They're like,
paid
dude, the more
for it.
times you say it, the more money we're gonna pay
Yeah.
you. But so the basically what look quarterback, running back, um, shoot, man, maybe another wide receiver, definitely a defense. They really struggled on defense this year, and
Which is like something you out of Carolina, don't you expect
you
strong
expect a
D?
defense. You do. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
I
you
expect them
definitely
to.
do.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
have the. Yeah, like you expect them to be like not as good as Baltimore, but yeah, good as Baltimore. One of the best defenses in the league. You expect that from Carolina.
I really don't think Carolina is going to be anything worth mentioning until I'm in my 40s, and I'm in my early 30s right now.
I can't see this being fixed. I don't know if Matt
It's going to
Rue
be
and Scott
years and years and years.
have the answer, but so
And
far
that's
it done.
unfortunate. I mean, it sucks seeing teams, right? Because, like we said at the beginning of this podcast, like being contenders, teams that people mentioned to basically being teams that like people aren't even considered a threat anymore. Just like that. And then all of a sudden the whole division's like that. You
Yeah,
know? Tampa
like
really wasn't even considered a threat until Tom Brady entered the realm,
and when
won the
we
Super
talked
Bowl.
about when you were thinking of divisions coming in this season, I did not look at the NFC South as one of the weakest in the league.
It's because you just we've watched these teams over the years and we don't
And we have
consider them
certain
weak teams, but
expectations of them.
it's
But
come to a
man,
point where
it was
maybe
so
they are
bad.
becoming the weak teams.
I
I
mean,
know
they're not
teams rotate.
AFC West bad, but we're not talking about the AFC West.
Yeah. Well, but they're definitely probably the weakest division in the NFC.
The
You know,
South, I would have said that, I don't think, but now I think, I mean, the
yeah, I
NFC
just
East, we'll talk about that at another time. We'll have some Cowboy fans on, and
I mean,
we'll talk about the.
they're
Oh,
like really putting on the steam. They're starting to build. I mean, Eagles. The Giants are the only team in that division that are really kind of like teetering, but everybody else is really picking up some momentum, putting the coal on the fire to say. But it's just unless these teams in the South really like buckle down and make some serious trades and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to risk this just to say that we tried, then I don't see anything happening anytime soon for much of those teams besides Tampa.
so
And just
let
because
me
you make
ask
it to
you.
the playoffs doesn't mean you deserve to be in the playoffs.
So let me ask you something. Out of these four teams, if you were part of the general manager head coach combo, which one of these teams would you rather be the head coach or general manager for?
How much power am I getting? Like I
Because
can
if
do
you're the
whatever
head
I
coach
want.
or general
I can do
manager,
whatever I want.
yeah, you have.
The easiest job is obviously to say Tampa. But if I could do whatever I want, I'd be the Saints GM and I'd really do some movement I get rid. I mean, I don't want to get rid of Kamara, but if he's going to be in trouble like
He can
that,
bring you a lot. He
I
has
could
a
get a
lot of
lot for
value.
him. You know what I'm saying? I still got
Yeah.
Mark Ingram in the side, and there's one thing I know about the Saints: they love them some Mark Ingram.
Mark
Um,
Ingram was the 5th leading rusher in the division.
yeah, I mean, he's getting older, but I mean, he's adequate enough to run this next year that you could get higher. You need a wide receiver. The defense and offensive line were focused. I mean, the offensive line at least was focused around Drew Brees, so they've always had like a pretty strong offensive line because Drew Brees was, I'm gonna sit there in the pocket quarterback. He's an old school quarterback, so they built that around him. Those guys are mostly still there. Their defense really wasn't horrible. I mean, I think the defense actually kept him in the playoff run most of the year. So you can really get in there, sell those guys high. You could sell Kamara high and get a good wide receiver and probably a backup running back so Mark Ingram can get off the field for a little bit. And then you pick, which really, are you going to go with Jameis Winston? You could, or you could trade him for another quarterback of maybe equal caliber. I mean, shoot, dude, you could trade him away. Maybe Aaron Rodgers would join the Saints. Dude like that, he could probably win a Super Bowl with the Saints.
Yeah.
But really, I think the Saints have the biggest potential to, a positive movement towards being a better team than any of the other teams, because we have already established that Tampa Bay is pretty much where they're at. I
And
mean,
you'd feel more
how much better
secure
can you do than Tom Brady? Like,
and you'd be
honestly,
more secure in your job in Tampa than any one of these 4 clubs,
I think
right?
it'd be the easiest to succeed in, but I think the ability to really morph a team would be better than the Saints. If I had to pick one, if they would like make a choice,
Well, I
I'd
don't
be.
know, like the changes you'd be talking about. I don't know the salary cap issue. I don't know if the
That's what I'm saying.
I
I know
don't know
Kamara
if
got
the
paid
state
crazy
I don't
because
know if the
he
Saints
just got
can
paid like a lot of money for this season right here. I don't
because
know how much
the
of that
cap the
was.
cap would tell you what kind of
Yeah.
freedom you would have.
Well, I know they didn't really sign Winston to like a huge contract. I think it was a year to year. I know those other guys are pretty much like right where they've been already. I know Kamara just got paid out. I think Ingram was like on a 1 year contract for $1 million or something like that, is what if I can remember correctly. So I really think the main part of the cap situation is the running back. Because really if Kamara comes back, I would say trade. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Mark Ingram just because of the love they got for him, but you could probably trade Mark Ingram and Winston for a decent quarterback.
I don't think so.
They're not going to be able to do that because they're not going to let go of Mark Ingram. They pulled him back in. Mark
Well,
Ingram will retire.
Mark Ingram. I'm
Will
willing to give my
retire as a
love
Saint.
out for Mark Ingram because Mark Ingram has been a great service to the game
No, that's what I'm
ever
saying.
since he's been
They're
in
not letting him
college.
go
He's been
until he
no,
wants to
but
retire. He will be a Saint. They're not
well,
going to let him go
that's
again.
the thing I'm talking about is
Yeah.
the retirement, man.
I mean, the thing is, you risk losing a lot if you let go of Simeon because he really does. Like, his success rate when he handles the ball in those situations that he's designed for is like pretty much almost 100%. I very rarely see him not get the ball in
Yeah,
the
because
end
there's
zone.
no reason Simeon should be behind Winston. There's no way Simeon
He can't throw the
is
ball
not a better
downfield.
quarterback than Jameis Winston.
He
There's
cannot throw the
no
ball
way.
downfield. He was given
Right, and
every
the fact that
opportunity.
Simeon can't win this job.
It's because he is not a quarterback that can throw downfield. He's a special team. He's not special teams, but basically he is like player. I
No,
mean,
you're thinking of the other quarterback.
Trevor Simeon, dude. Yes, I know
No, he
exactly
is
who.
a quarterback. He is a pocket quarterback. You're thinking about that running guy. That's not Trevor Simeon.
Yes, it is, bro. The dude who was behind uh Drew Brees.
Right. Yeah. No. It was uh
Yes, because he got the opportunity to start the game at the end of Drew Brees' career.
That's Tyson Hill.
Oh, you're right. 100%. Fudge. Hey guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. You're 100% right, but yeah, trade both of them. I changed my point. Oh, yeah, I really was thinking about Taysom Hill.
Trevor
You're right.
Simeon, I have no idea who he is, but he's garbage. If he can't beat up Jameis Winston, he's garbage, man.
No, I honestly thought I heard the T and I was just thinking, man.
Some told me you were actually talking about Taysom Hill.
I
And you weren't talking
this
about
whole
Trevor
time.
Simeon.
No.
I was like, he don't even know who Trevor Simeon is.
I mean, I do know who he is now.
He was
I just
in
feel
Denver.
Yeah, they drafted him like he started like right after Nick Foles lost the job.
Right.
And it was
no,
Oswald,
and then they got
Oswald
Drew
there.
Lock. Oh yeah, Osweiler.
Osweiler was a dude, and then
horrible move.
And
and look at Houston now. But we're not talking about the AFC South. This is the NFC South.
Yeah, but Denver struggled with that cat
on FTB Sports. Like, subscribe. Yeah. Thank you for your support.
We might ramble on for 15 minutes about the wrong player, but we'll get there eventually.
No, because everybody just went, that makes more sense now.
Okay, yeah. So Trevor Simeon, I do remember seeing him playing, and they did struggle until they got rid of him. But you're just basically saying I'm trading in one guy that got drafted high for another guy who got drafted high who hasn't performed nearly as good as everybody thought they were going to perform.
Right, and Simeon got replaced in Denver, right, by Drew Lock.
Yeah, and look at
they drafted, and then right away Denver fan was like, "Damn it!" Like they turned into the Cleveland Browns. Remember every it's because
Drew Lock had this couple good games right when he came in, right? And then people started getting game tape on him, and that fell off. And then, Melvin Gordon was your best player, who was a great running back at one time. And then, he got traded to Denver where he died as a running back, unfortunately. And I don't know if that had to do with Philly Rays and the Chargers and all that stuff. But that's here nor there. Right. I would trade both those cats because Taysom Hill was a guy I was thinking about. And I really do think that dude's really good. But he's good enough where he plays his part, but I think you could get a semi-good quarterback because your draft pick isn't going to be high enough because you almost made it to the playoffs. So you're looking at 20s is your draft pick, your first draft pick.
And the cool thing is, we're going to have an episode where we're going to talk about all of that stuff right there. So, this is not a preview show. We're just trying to review, but there is this looming stuff going on in the NFL right now. I mean, everybody, this is the off season, but the NFL Combine is going on as we speak, so it's very exciting. Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
It's super impressive how fast those guys are on the 40, man.
Oh man, dude, and the fastest guy
over here,
the fastest guy ain't even running the 40 this year.
I know.
Did you see that interview?
I haven't seen the interviews, but I usually watch the combine after it's done. I watch the highlights and stuff like that because mostly it's going on when I'm at work or school and stuff like that. So, but no, it is very impressive. But realistically, you're not getting tackled by somebody when you're running your 40 in your gym shorts. So it does play out a little different, and I'm not hating on those dudes because I'm just happy when I get my mile on my treadmill.
No, because all the combine is for guys just to get one last look.
I think it's for publicity and hype. Is really what
I think part of it is too. Going into the draft,
my robot was sucking up the controller. Stupid vacuuming robot. I love her and I hate her.
Right. Put to get it hyped for the draft. Let everybody see these guys up close.
It is. It's because it's just
because all the colleges have all the tape. all
Yeah,
the NFL scouts and coaching staffs have watched all this tape on these guys
that's what I'm
already.
saying.
They
Most
already
of those dudes are
know.
like, unless you're not getting drafted, there's really like almost no point to that
Like,
because teams already know who they want to draft already.
yeah, because there are a few teams this year that aren't even sending one single scout to the combine.
Really,
They're like, we know everything we already need to know.
I
Like,
mean, the way that
we're not
college
gonna
is
find
moving,
out
yeah.
anything new
I mean, college
at
is getting directly linked to the NFL. Once they
yeah.
entered the compensation part of college, it's a streamline. It's always been a streamline, but you can pay schools more to make sure that these teams are getting these players now.
Well, no. It's not that. It's
It's totally that.
all these the clubs have so much money now. They have multiple scouts at every single game
Yeah, but how do you think they're getting that money? It's definitely not
because
from booster clubs.
the
It's not from booster clubs,
because
bro.
right no because
It's private
somehow this
funding coming from the
right
NFL.
no I'm saying no
Yeah,
that the NFL has all this money to
that they're
send
using
their
as tax
scouts to these
write-offs because we're
colleges.
using it as educational
Yeah,
purposes.
somehow this nonprofit organization, the
Yeah,
NFL, has all this money
I made
that every
$2 billion
club,
last year, but I didn't make any money. I swear,
right?
because we
No,
used it
but
all for
anyway,
research and development. We pay our
that
third party.
that's here nor there.
Yeah,
But I think the combine is just a show because
it's like the Pro Bowl.
No NFL team is finding out anything new about a
Unless you're
player
coming
at
out
the
straight from like
combine.
the streets and they have no tape on you, and you're just like one of those lucky few that possesses a natural ability
Then
to
how do you get
be a great.
invited to the combine?
They have people that are technically
They're
undrafted
all
players.
invited.
Yeah, but they're not all participating
Right,
potentially in the
but
draft.
that guy you're talking about, you don't find him at the combine. You find him at a
Well, that's why they
private
have
pro
those like
day.
little tests. If you can pass those tests, you're probably going to get invited to the combine.
Uh, so
Now, if you
yeah,
get
that division
featured
a
in
mess.
those videos, that's a different story.
So do you expect, however it pans out next year? I know we're not predicting 2022, but do you would your hunch tell you if you had to throw down money, the only team making it to the playoffs from this division next year is the division winner?
Unfortunately, probably, yeah. I do want the Saints to make a run for it, but realistically, if I had to
Who do they
bet,
replace? Who they replace? The 49ers, maybe? Because I don't think they're that good.
the 49ers, I
The Saints
mean,
might be better than the 49ers.
they almost took the 49ers place. That was the team that was they were gonna switch with. Um, I honestly think the 49ers could get there again, man.
Easier than it would be for the Saints to make it?
Easier than the Saints.
Okay.
They have less to work on.
No, word. All right. So there you have it, everybody. We wrapped up the NFC South.
That was a struggle, man. I'm climbing that mountain. Shoot, dude.
Dude, right? Hey, we took up the whole hour somehow
No,
talking
I
about
looked at
the
the time.
Bucks,
I was like,
Saints,
damn, we did that
Falcons,
for a
and
whole hour.
Panthers. Like
No, man. I
we
just,
handled it pretty good, man.
man, it's just
No,
unfortunate, dude, because those were really great teams, and it always bums me out seeing really great teams
yeah,
fade away. But that's how it happens. Well, they say it's
yeah,
better to fade out. It's better to burn out than fade away. And unfortunately, they all faded.
we do. I figure next week, of course. Next week we're going to do the NFC East
East?
because
Okay.
the East because we have a special weekend that we're going to set aside, and there's going to be one weekend where we're going to do the NFC North, and I'm waiting for that to be available so we can have a very, very, very special guest on. My brother, my brother is going to join us
Oh,
when we
yeah?
wrap up the NFC North. He is a cheesehead, Green Bay Packers, so he's had it easy. Brett Favre to
I
Aaron
mean, we all have
Rodgers.
our faults, man. It's just sometimes.
What you gonna do now? Aaron Rodgers to who?
I did not see that coming, man. I really thought they were going to give Aaron Rodgers what he wanted, but after that playoff game, I knew it was done, man. Before the playoff game, I thought maybe, but after that playoff game where he just gave it away, because I'm sorry, you don't, like we've said, you don't score 30 points a game and then all of a sudden get to the playoff game and score 10 and just sit there on the sideline acting like you're the coolest cucumber in the patch, man. It doesn't happen.
Right. Yep. So NFC South wrapped up next week. It'll probably be Wednesday again for sure. We'll do that NFC East. So if you want to get in, even if you just want to come on, you don't want to be on for the whole time, come on for a little bit. Tell us about your team and what you thought about their 2021 season. Don't even matter if it is an NFC East team. And then we'll ask you some question about the NFC East to make it relevant, like what you thought.
And if you talk about the wrong player, we won't even make fun
No,
of you.
we ain't. We're gonna ignore it. And later on, we'll be about that guy, and just come in, tell about your team, and bounce. Sit back and listen. We could probably do that too, but it'll be the NFC East next week when we wrap it up. But thank you again, Donnie. Once again, standing beside me,
you guys,
brother.
thanks for having me on as always.
I know. I think we held it down. We're missing two.
Not gonna lie, I missed our co-hosts. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, missing two very important people. But I thought we held it down pretty easy. I mean, shoot, we took up a whole hour with NFC South, so we obviously did a quality
and I thought
job.
With 4 people, that wasn't even going to happen for an hour's worth of info.
But here we go, man. We did it.
Man.
So we do. But thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe. Thank you for all the support. We always appreciate it here at FTB Sports. Present on Through the Table, Britt Smill, Donnie Shoemaker. Until next time, thank you all. Take care. Goodbye.